Howdy all. Andy McCabe here, your Restoration Rebel leader. I had a great conversation with a friend of mine tonight, and it really drove home a point that I believe a lot of folks need to hear. And that point is, no industry or no individual in any industry believes that innovation will destroy them. Everyone seems to have this notion that their industry or their niche is somehow immune to innovation or disruption. Not to go too deep or too detailed, but my friend is a wholesaler. He's a middleman, and he operates in an industry that, granted, his niche is a little complicated. It's a little tougher for the layperson to grasp. And he truly believes that his clients need him to work as a liaison between the how do I say this? The manufacturer and the supplier. So if he was let's say he wholesaled auto parts, very specific auto parts. Let's say he wholesaled titanium wheels, just for example. I don't want to get into what he does for a living is completely irrelevant to the point I'm trying to make. So let's say this titanium wheel wholesaler said that GMC or all right, this is getting way off. The makers of these automobiles need me to explain to them and solve their problems because the manufacturer of these wheels or this type of wheel or these wheels, this family of wheels is not willing to service this client to the level that I am willing to solve their problem. And he said to me that, well, the manufacturer of these wheels, sorry, I'm trying really hard not to go tell you specifically what he does, but the manufacturer of these wheels, this family of wheels, is not willing to sell to my clients because their orders are too custom, or their orders are too small, or they won't. The manufacturer of these wheels they won't sell to these car manufacturers because car manufacturers want different financing. Whatever. He came up with several different options. But the reality was he did not want to see that being a middleman in an old market is a very, very dangerous position. So the notion that an assembler of cars would not eventually ever want to go direct to the manufacturer of wheels is redonkulous. Yes, there are wholesalers. There still exist wholesalers in our world, but they are few and far between. The lesson I want everyone to take home here is no one ever realizes no one ever wants to believe that their special industry is going to be innovated or is disrupted in any way. The real lesson is, if your value proposition is broken, if you do not serve the ultimate client at the highest level or at the level they're accustomed to or they wish to be served at, you are going extinct. That leads me into my second point I want to make. I started a Facebook group called the Restoration Rebels. It wasn't ever supposed to do anything. I didn't intend really to start the revolution. I was just angry. I was angry at the way things are in the insurance repair industry. I was angry at the way I was treated. I was angry at seeing how my friends and colleagues were being treated. I was frustrated at the rate of bankruptcy and dropout of restoration professionals and businesses. So I started this thing called Restoration Rebels. Well, guess what? This week we're going to cross 2,000 members in that group. In May, we're going to have 250 people with 25 sponsors in Nashville at a summit that I had no intention 14 months ago of having. Sincerely, I had no idea what this was going to turn into. We put together a map. We put together a map of folks that said, hey, I want to be part of this thing. And we said, okay, you can be part of this thing. Agree to these rules. We'll get together and we'll share ideas. We'll share standard operating procedures. We'll just let each other know that it's okay to be frustrated. You're not alone. You can come home. It's come to my attention more than once and more frequently over the last few weeks that some of the folks that joined this group are not true restoration rebels. Oh, shocker. I'm stunned and amazed. And some of these folks who are using pseudo accounts, pseudo Facebook accounts, I'm trying hard not to laugh here, to spy on the restoration rebels and report back to their bosses about the inner workings and what we're saying in our Facebook group. And these folks who work for third-party administrators are then going to this map and threatening members of the Restoration Rebel Alliance that they're going to be dropped from their TPA if they do not remove themselves from the map or remove themselves from the group. Here's the point, all y'all who are watching this and watching our group using a fake Facebook name. Your model's broken. You're being disrupted and you don't want to see it. You provide no value. And guess what? It's not me saying this. It's the end user. The end user is making it known through their pocketbook, through their buying decisions, through their behaviors that they didn't ever want somebody in between them, their contractor, and their insurance company. They didn't ask for this. But you came in anyway, right? You said, well, these contractors are charging too much money. And we're going to go in there and make them charge a standard rate. But we're also going to charge them for the privilege of shaving their bills and giving them a hard time and driving them out of business. Gigs up, y'all. Gigs up. You do not provide value. You extract value. You are a middleman. You are a wholesaler in a world that does not need wholesalers. One last thing. If you work for a TPA, if you really enjoy your work, if this is fulfilling to you, if this is your passion in life, do that. Otherwise, find a new job. Quit tomorrow. There are restoration folks that would hire you in a heartbeat. Think about it. All y'all managers and owners of third-party administrators, you want to come after me? Fine. Do you think it's going to stop at me? Do you think the reaction that the market has given me over the last 12 months, do you think it's because it's the Andy McCabe show? Because I'm like super good looking or something? Do you think that if I was gone, somebody else wouldn't step up and start something else? I represent a reaction to a market reality that you are choosing to ignore. Let that sink in.